Crowds are marching through the streets outside the state capitol building in St. Paul. This is a live look there as the community comes to grips with the acquittal of Jeronimo Yanez and the death of Philando Castile. It is hard to forget the horrific images of him taking his dying breath streamed on Facebook after he was shot by a police officer during a traffic stop. Castile was shot 5 times after informing the officer that he had a handgun in his car. His girlfriend, seated next to him, streamed the aftermath for the world to see. Tonight, in the wake of the verdict, Minnesota's governor is expressing his condolences to the Castile family. NBC's Blake McCoy has the latest.
It was the video seen around the world.
Oh my God, please don't tell me he's dead. Please don't tell me my boyfriend just went like that.
32-year-old Philando Castile shot 5 times during a traffic stop for a broken taillight last summer. His girlfriend, Diamond Reynolds, streaming the graphic aftermath live on Facebook. Reynolds' then 4-year-old daughter in the back seat.
It's okay, I'm right here with you.
Tonight, the officer, Jeronimo Yanez, has been found not guilty of manslaughter. The Castile family is outraged.
My son loved this city, and this city killed my son, and the murderer gets away.
And for that man to get on the stand and lie, for them jurors to not have enough human empathy and a conscience to just do the right thing.
10 white jurors and 2 black jurors deliberated 4 days after Officer Yanez took the stand in his own defense, saying, "I did not want to shoot Mr. Castile. It was not my intention. I was scared to death and I thought I would die." He said Castile, a school cafeteria worker, matched the description of a robbery suspect, that he smelled marijuana and saw Castile reach for a gun.
Oh, not to reach for it. I told him to get his hand out.
You told him to get his ID, sir, and his driver's license.
Prosecutors argued Castile had a permit, warned the officer he had a firearm, and that the officer overreacted. The shooting last summer sparked weeks of protest and flared racial tensions. Tonight, a heightened police presence as Officer Yanez has been found not guilty.
The city of St. Anthony announced it intends to offer Officer Yanez a voluntary separation agreement to move him to another career other than a St. Anthony police officer. Until details are finalized, Yanez will not return to active duty. Coming up after weather, survivors and supporters took one step closer to curing cancer tonight. Plus, why MnDOT is launching a new campaign to combat human trafficking in the coming weeks. But first, Robert, how's the start to our Father's Day looking?
Not too bad. Still dealing with a few showers out there and an occasional rumble of thunder, but most of us are staying dry tonight, and it looks like another very nice sunset taking shape as we take a live look outside on the CorwinAuto.com Valley Skycam, part of the Storm Team Skycam network. That sun sets at 9:24 here in the Fargo-Moorhead area, so it's still behind the clouds here, but once it sets, it gets a little bit lower. That should illuminate these clouds in all kinds of oranges and reds. We'll keep an eye on that. We're going to keep an eye on these temperatures. This 74 right now, that's about as warm as we're going to get as we head through the whole weekend. Calm winds right now, and we'll see relatively light winds as we head through the overnight hours. Temperatures a mix of some 50s, 60s, and 70s. 73 down in the Gwinner area and in Sisseton, Fergus Falls at 70, 67 in Bemidji, 64 up in Roseau, the cool spot, 57 degrees up in Langdon. Winds light. They'll remain relatively light again as we head through the overnight hours. Cloud cover, we've got quite a bit of it out there, but it's decreasing from west to east, and we'll see decreasing clouds for a little while anyway. They'll come right back in as we head towards tomorrow morning. Underneath those clouds, we are seeing some showers and the occasional rumble of thunder. Most of that in the northern half of the valley as it continues to slide off towards the east. Langdon getting some rain, Grand Forks getting some rain, Crookston getting some rain, and maybe even a rumble or two of thunder, and that stretches all the way over into our eastern counties, Lake of the Woods County, down towards the Bemidji area. Across the northern plains, we've got the showers here and some big-time thunderstorms off toward the south. Some tremendous thunderstorms and crazy winds coming out of some of these storms. 80-mile-per-hour winds, even 85-mile-per-hour winds reported with some of these storms. Numerous warnings with that, including a couple of brand new tornado warnings with that line as it continues to make its way off towards the southeast. For us, though, not going to have to worry about any severe weather, just a few isolated showers and storms tonight. Most of those dissipate, but could still see an isolated shower or two as we head through the overnight hours and into tomorrow morning with partly to mostly cloudy skies. As we head through the day tomorrow, we'll continue to see partly to mostly cloudy skies throughout the day, and that off and on chance for some showers and storms. It looks like the better chances will be in the southern half of the valley, but can't rule out isolated showers and storms just about anywhere across the region. Here in Fargo, I think we start off dry. Temperatures in the upper 50s by lunchtime, right around 70 with more clouds building. And by the end of the day, going to get into the low 70s with that chance for some showers and thunderstorms. Picture of the day, thanks to Nick Rail for sending this in. A back road sunset in Wilkin County, Minnesota. Spectacular shot that we're going to use as the background to our 7-day forecast. A bit rainy at times on a Saturday. Sunday, less rainy. Don't cancel the outdoor plans. Just keep it tuned to the latest forecast. Keep an eye on that Valley News Live weather app. Storm heads your way. Head on indoors until that storm has passed. Off and on chances of storms next week with temperatures in the mid to upper 70s.
And Nick did a great job with that shot. We were talking about that earlier.
He always does. I'm jealous of Nick's photographic ability.
Me too. But if you have photographs, just always send them in.
Absolutely.
All right. Thank you, Robert.
You got it.
Well, we're following a developing story overseas tonight. 7 U.S. sailors are missing and one has sustained a head injury after a U.S. destroyer collided with a merchant ship about 56 nautical miles off the coast of Japan. The Navy said the USS Fitzgerald was conducting routine operations southwest of Japan when the crash happened. Initial reports said there were multiple injuries. One crew member was airlifted by helicopter from the deck of the ship. Heavy damage was done to the right side of the destroyer. Well, we put a lot of trust in the people who fix meals for our families at restaurants. So what if we told you maggots were found on a machine that comes in direct contact with the food you're going to eat? Valley News Team's Cornelius Hawker talks to a young man who's claiming that happened at a local pizza joint. We share his story and what's being done to fix this problem.
Maggots on a dough cutter. It's the reason this Little Caesars on 45th Street in Fargo is closed for maintenance until June 19th, according to a former employee.
My little brother, who also works there, called me and said, yeah, they found like maggots in the dough machine. We had to shut down for today, which also we had to shut down for the rest of the week until Monday.
Manny Macho says lack of training led to this situation.
We were taught, but it was pretty much just like wipe it down. We never got like someone who came in and said, okay, so here's how you do it. It was just you were told like just clean it, but you never like, we just had rags and washer. We didn't know like the proper techniques or anything.
Since the maggots were found, Manny, along with several other people, have quit the place because they feel like management is not going to get any better despite this situation.
We all tried what we could. We all did what we tried to do. At the end of the day, it was like upper management failed to communicate with us.
Cass County Public Health says the owner of Little Caesars voluntarily closed up shop to take care of the situation. There's going to be a follow-up inspection on Monday. In Fargo, Cornelius Hawker, Valley News Live.
We reached out to the owner of Little Caesars, but he did not get back to us. We'll have the results of Monday's follow-up inspection posted to our website. In tonight's schemes and ripoffs, the Cass County Sheriff's Office is putting out a warning about scammers using the name of a local sheriff to rip people off. They say someone is calling from the phone number 701-368-4988 claiming to be Sheriff Paul D. Laney. The caller then says you're in legal trouble, and by sending them money, you can get out of it. The Cass County Sheriff's Office says anyone who gets these calls should contact the Red River Regional Dispatch Center, 701-451-7660, and ask to speak with a Cass County deputy to report it. They also say they will never contact people to send them money. Officials say they're still investigating the reports at this time. With the Super Bowl coming up early next year, human trafficking issues are on the minds of state officials in Minnesota. MnDOT is launching a new campaign in the coming weeks, placing these posters at rest stops all across the state. Officials say travel is often involved in trafficking situations, victims taken from a central location to other areas where they're exploited. Many of the rest areas along Minnesota's major highways are open around the clock. So would you be able to spot a trafficking victim at one of these places?
Probably the company they keep, the two different people. You know, you see a young 18, 19-year-old pretty girl with a 50-year-old guy. There's probably something wrong there.
To be completely honest, I don't think I probably would. Well, I don't really know the signs that well, to be completely honest. So, I mean, I would want to be able to, but I just don't think I know the signs.
We have more information posted online. Click on this story at valleynewslive.com. A Grand Forks man is facing several charges after a high-speed chase and standoff with police that spanned more than 15 hours. Dustin Berry is charged with fleeing and reckless driving, and authorities say more charges may be coming. The chase started around 8:30 last night north of Grand Forks on I-29, headed back into town. Berry and an unidentified woman then ditched their vehicle near the Grand Forks airport and took off in a stolen ATV before then stealing a pickup and crashing that into a ditch. That's when police arrested the woman and Barry took off on foot. But it wasn't until 5:30 this morning that officers got a report of a suspicious man knocking on a homeowner's door near the airport. Barry allegedly barricaded himself inside a nearby home for nearly 8 hours before officers were able to take him into custody. An Ariska man is now facing felony charges after an incident that left him with a gunshot wound to the chest. An arrest warrant has now been issued for 30-year-old Andrew Gubrud on terrorizing and criminal trespass charges. The Barnes County Sheriff's Office was called out to Lake Ashtabula on a report of a man holding a firearm outside of a cabin. Witnesses there say the incident started when Gubrud broke into a cabin with 4 women inside, then pulled a gun on them. He somehow ended up with a self-inflicted gunshot wound, and Gubrud could face up to 5 years behind bars for each charge. Dozens of Fargo homeowners may have been scratching their heads after getting their new blue recycling bins. The all-in-one program is set to begin the first week of July. However, the information on about 90 lids goes against what the city is offering. These lids say no glass. They're differing from what the vast majority of the lids say. A spokesperson for Fargo Solid Waste says the snafu was with the company that makes those blue bins. That company also makes blue bins for Becker County, Minnesota, whose recycling program doesn't accept glass. That's when they mistakenly put some of the Becker County lids on Fargo bins. The city says if you have a bin with the wrong lid and you want the right one, get a hold of Fargo Solid Waste at 241-1449 and they'll come out and exchange it. You can also keep the one you have, throw glass in it, and know that yours is just a special edition model. People took one step closer to curing cancer tonight during the American Cancer Society's Relay for Life in the Red event. Cancer survivors walked alongside their caregivers and supporters that they'd never met to raise money for research. Paper bags lined the track showing the names and faces of those who lost their lives to these deadly diseases. The event is a key fundraiser for the American Cancer Society and supporters many of their efforts.
Without the money that we raise through Relay for Life, we wouldn't have research that is finding cures for various cancers. We wouldn't have the mission, we wouldn't have the programs, the education that's available to people out there.
Anyone interested in participating can register on the spot. The walk started at 6 and continues until midnight tonight, weather permitting.